So yesterday we were playing around with this, which is the Rapidman 800. I'm not quite sure what that voice was. Anyway, I'm excited and I'll tell you why. I was working on this till about, I don't know, 11:30, something like that at night. It was late. And I was using my multimeter to probe around, check for dead shorts in these resistors or in the diodes. And I couldn't find anything, and people have put some comments on the video when I uploaded it, and I came back from work today and I thought, well, I'll quickly check that. Someone suggested testing this capacitor over here and seeing whether any of these are voltage regulators, which they're not. They're all transistors. So there's they're old styles. So there's 7222. And which is, what is that, a 2907? I think it's a 2907. So they're just that's NPN transistors. Yeah. So anyway, I checked lots of things. Sorry, I'm a bit flustered because I was quite surprised, but it's working. Let's turn it on. Where's the button? There you go. Can you see that? I'm not sure why it says things. That wasn't the calculator, just so you know. That was the multimeter telling me to turn it off. Anyway, it's working. And I'll tell you why I think it's working. Well, last night, the last thing I did, without trying it again after I'd done it, is I went over and resoldered pretty much every pin I could find on the back here that looked a little dry. I don't know if I can focus any further on that. That's about as good as it's going to get. So I went over and soldered every one of these pins that looked a little dry, even over in this area where there's all this gunk, which is sort of like dried flux, I think. And so I went over everything, including some on the display, any pin that I could follow that was a power pin as well. So anything coming from over here, and it goes through the key panel here. I don't know if you can see that properly, but so power goes through the key panel just down here and jumps up. Is that the switch there? Yeah, the switch is just there. So it jumps up through this and then comes down on a different track. So I resoldered all of those pins, and I followed the traces around and resoldered every one of the power pins. And for some reason that worked. I can't tell you why that worked. I thought it was going to be a problem I'd have to diagnose by throwing it on the benchtop power supply and seeing where the current was being drawn. I spoke to, I'm going to call him Guillermo because I don't know how to say his name, but it was on Twitter, and we spoke about it, and he suggested putting it on a bench power supply and seeing where the bits get hot if it is a short circuit, and putting some isopropyl alcohol down and seeing where it evaporates. But didn't need to do that. I was all ready for that when I came home from work, and then I just sort of went, right, put the battery on just to test it out again, and lo and behold, where's the button? It is working in a fashion. Although I'm not quite sure if that's what's meant to be on the display. I'm going to put it back in its box and then we can look at it properly. Right, so that took a little bit more effort than I thought it was going to. I've forgotten sort of which order all this stuff went in. So I'm going to screw it all back together. Now that I know at least it works. The display's a little bit funny, so I don't know what's going on there. Could be another problem, but I just want to see it working inside its box. So that's what we're doing. I'm always ready for there to be one more problem. So if this is actually working now, I don't know whether it was just, I mean, it's entirely possible it was a dry joint or an intermittent dry joint or something. But if it's working now, then I'm not going to need that Commodore one. But I mean, I've got it, so let's drop you in there. Cool. That will do for now. And it's already on. Very difficult to see that, isn't it? Oh, there we go, that's better. On. That switch is a bit funny. There we go. So let's zoom in because I can't really see it very well. There we go. So there's the display. You know how I said my solar calculator wasn't very visible? Well, I found it. It's kind of a lot more visible and sort of works, so I didn't really need to. Still, I think I remember I told you I had this one from school. So I've had this years and years and years and it's still working, but we've got this one now. So this is the Rapidman and it appears to work. 7 times 7 equals 49, that is correct. Let's do one of the examples actually, hang on. We'll zoom out a little bit and hopefully you'll still be able to read that display. Let's see if I can refocus a little bit. That's good enough. So here are the calculations examples. Actually, there are some, so if I times that by 99999, and then some of these numbers go off the scale, I think. So we have to divide it down. So divide that by 1000. Is that correct? Yeah, so we were missing the 4 before. So times it by 1000 again. So yeah, you see we've got 9909, although that's missing a, some of the segments aren't working. Can you see that? That's annoying. That could lead to some incorrect numbers. So one of these 9s could be an 8 quite easily, or these zeros. So anyway, if I then divide that by 1000, then you can see that there was a 4 there. So we couldn't see that before. So there's a limitation of the numbers. So if I just put 8s all the way in, it's an overflow condition. Yeah, you can see the 3rd digit there and the 5th digit have segments that are not working. So I might need to go back in and resolder some of those connections on the back. Either they're not working or they're too dim. They look too dim and, well, they're just probably not working. Have to go in and have another little look. Anyway, that's it. I'm not actually going to do much else with it apart from keep it around the shop to just use. I don't know why I say shop. It's not like I've got a workshop. So there you go. The Rapidman. Oh, how do you do? It's got a, it's a bit fiddly. What's, I'll have to like pull this apart again. So when it's on like that, the red light's not on, but it's on when it's there. And that is weird. I don't know. I can't remember what boobies is on the calculator. That's what I was going to end with. But obviously I'm not going to. Okay, well, mystery completely not solved, but we don't need to solve it anymore. It's done. It's not really holding together well, probably because I've got this tape stuck here. I'm going to take it back apart and then put it back together again. But yeah, no real resolution there. It just sort of worked again after resoldering some pins, so I can't really tell you what was wrong.